This is MaxPreps Friday Night Live, powered by American Family Insurance.
We're going to check in with Steve Spiewak now because a big upset, Goose Creek. What happened? They got eliminated and they weren't even playing. Explain that to me.
Yeah, it was a big upset, and as a result, it left a lot of people very upset. Goose Creek, nationally ranked in our top 25, won convincingly in their Class 4 AA state playoff opener against Conway 48-7, and then after that game, it came out that Goose Creek may have used an ineligible player. They were ruled to have been found to have used an ineligible player, and they were booted from the playoffs, and they appealed and they were denied. They appealed again and they were denied, and finally a judge stepped in. A court-ordered judge said, you know what, you have to let Goose Creek play the second round against Bluffton. And so they did. Goose Creek beat Bluffton on the field, and then they revisited the case on Monday morning, 3 days later, and once again, Goose Creek was found to have used an ineligible player, and they were booted from the playoffs once more. Guys, the kicker in this story is that the Goose Creek community insists the player that was in question was a special needs player who was very inconsequential to the outcomes of the games. The people in the Goose Creek community are just devastated, and it's been just a crazy playoff bracket trying to figure out who's actually in. And for Bluffton, are we playing Conway? Are we playing Goose Creek? Are we hosting? Are we visiting? Really a crazy, in many ways, a sad end to Goose Creek's season.
Steve, you can say that again, but if you break the rules, what then?
Right. No, and it's tough. That's what the thing is. That's why they have these courts that they can go to and they can appeal, but apparently they didn't read it. I don't want Steve to go too far away. We're about to go back to him and invite him back in again because I heard the phone ringing right behind him. So, Steve, if you need to get the phone, you got to wait till later, okay?
We're actually going to go ahead and take a live look outside right now, brought to you by PlayOnSportsNetwork.com. Do not get the phone right now, Steve. We're checking in with Granite Bay versus Oak Ridge. 7-0 Granite Bay right now.
Granite Bay continues to roll. This is a team that came in to the season losing 3 of their first 4 games, and they have just been on a roll. A win here would be their 7th in a row, and right now they're leading and looking pretty darn good. Steve?
Yeah, I think Granite Bay is the favorite in this one, despite the fact that Oak Ridge is 12-1 and their only loss coming against Folsom. But Granite Bay wins this game and wins next week. There's a good chance that they could be representing Northern California in the Division I bowl games, and depending on how Southern California shakes out, we may see Granite Bay play a team like Vista Marietta, play a team like Narbonne, play an elite Southern California team. And when you look at Granite Bay's resume, 2 of their 3 losses came against Southern California teams. So I think some people are kind of wondering how this team would potentially fare in a CIF bowl game in a couple of weeks, but first they need to get through Oak Ridge to even really consider that.
I mean, we just got to see a sick catch. I mean, that is great timing on our producer's part, May Roan, for deciding to go to this game and knowing that was going to happen. Great catch we got to see there on the air.
Yes, because Marone really knows that. And the best part about it is that phone that you guys heard ringing was probably Steve Montoya. He is actually at this game right now, Granite Bay versus Oak Ridge, and we're going to talk to him later on in just a couple of minutes, and we'll check in and see exactly if maybe he'll tell us that catch that he saw there and what we have missed, because of course this live look is brought to you by PlayOnSportsNetwork.com. Now it is the time of the show when we check in with another top player. We're talking about Brian Walker in our Get to the Game, powered by American Family Insurance. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it.
Get to the Game, powered by American Family Insurance. Brian Walker is a hard-nosed cornerback from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Tough competitor. He plays cornerback. We put him on the best receiver for the last 3 years. He's guarding the best player on the opposite team all the time, and he loves the competition. He loves to go against the best.
He is a fantastic kid. We have a very close relationship. He tells me everything.
Brian's not a rah-rah guy. He's more leading by example and letting his play speak for him. Hard worker. Kid that dedicated himself to the weight room and dedicated himself on the field, and the results are showing from that.
Brian's family is there every step of the way to help protect his dreams.
Brian's dad and mother are real active as far as football and his academics.
Our role is to be able to support him, give him direction and guidance, to keep things in perspective for him so he can reach the goals that he wants to reach.
The best advice I've ever received came from my dad when he said never get comfortable with what you've done until you achieve what you need to do.
Brian has followed that advice and now has big dreams of his own.
I think Brian's dreams are to go to the next level to play in the NFL, but also he realizes that football is the vehicle for him to get there. But what's paramount is he gets a great education.
I protect Brian's dream by supporting him, telling him that it's okay to dream. There's nothing wrong with dreams because most people who have dreams are successful.
The best way for me to protect my dream is staying focused on what I need to do as an individual, education-wise first, football second, and make sure I have my head right no matter where I go.
To see more great videos and enter for a chance to win an incredible football experience in New Orleans, go to amfam.com/get-to-the-game.
And standing by on the phone, we have Coach Rich Hansen Jr. from St. Peter's Prep, defensive coordinator. Coach, you've got a big game tomorrow. How are you guys prepping this evening?
Yeah, we absolutely do. We have, a really important game in a semifinal matchup in a loaded bracket, and we're really excited for the game.
Hey, Coach, Paramus Catholic, obviously a pretty dominant offense. Only twice this year do they score less than 35 points, but you and the defense that you lead only gave up more than 7 points once this year. So looks like it's going to be your strength against their strength. How do you stop that offense?
Well, they have some outstanding players on the offensive side of the ball. Really dynamic, a ton of speed, and they spread the ball out a little bit. But, leading that charge, probably one of the best players in the country, one of the best juniors in the country in Jabril Peppers. And we're going to do our best to make sure that we slow him down as best as possible.
Coach D. Spivak here. You sound excited for the game. You also sound half asleep, so we won't keep you too much longer. Since the loss that you guys suffered to St. Joseph's Regional, what has changed and what have you improved on defensively that you think could help you guys win tomorrow?
Well, I think we've improved as a team overall, more than anything. We feel like we're pretty rounded. We play good defense. Our special teams are really good, and our offense can go as long as they're clicking. And if we run the ball well, it really sets up everything else for us, and that's always the game plan for us. So that's really what we're going to look to do tomorrow.
Coach Hansen, thank you very much for talking to us this evening. We wish you the best of luck. I think I have a sexy voice. I'm going to go with. That's what it was. Not half asleep. We wish you the best.
Listen, I'm sure he's working hard these days, so hopefully he gets a little nap, and maybe that will have to be after they win a state championship. We do want to move on, and we want to tell you that we not only talk about high school players here, but we talk about college players because that's what they grow up to be, and when they grow up on that next level, our little baby boys are growing up. Some of them even go on to be Heisman Trophy finalists, and that's where we're going to do right now. We're going to take a look back at some of this year's Heisman Trophy finalists and what they looked like in high school. The first one, he's a quarterback at Texas A&M, and Johnny Manziel. This is only 2 years ago. He's a redshirt freshman now for A&M, looking to become the first ever freshman to win the Heisman Trophy. How about this? In high school, his senior year, 74 touchdowns, 44 through the air, and 30 on the ground. That is one talented high school kid. You want another one? How about a linebacker? We go back to the state of Hawaii for this one. Manti Te'o. How about this one? One of the most highly recruited players from the state of Hawaii. His senior year, 129 tackles, 11 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, and returned an interception and a block punt for a score. That was Mr. Everything in the state of Hawaii. Now, we'll take a look back at some of the other finalists next week as we lead up to finding out who this year's Heisman Trophy winner is.
Yeah. And, Steve, I have a quick question for you. If Manziel was second team all-around, All-American, who's ahead of him?
Well, a young man named Quentin Williams that season set the Florida single-season passing mark for both yards and touchdowns. So he was one of the guys that made first team. And the other was Justin Worley, who's now at Tennessee and had just a monstrous career. And he won State Player of the Year over Jadeveon Clowney, who's probably going to be a #1 pick in the draft one day. So that was definitely an outstanding year for quarterbacks and record-setting years.
Steve, thank you very much for ironing that out for me. Now it's time that we take a look at Don Bosco's big man. We're talking about Quan Muhammad in our Get to the Game, powered by American Family Insurance. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it.
Get to the Game, powered by American Family Insurance. Al-Quadin Muhammad, a standout defensive end from New Jersey-powered Don Bosco Prep, has been dominant on the field from the start.
I actually been playing football since I was 7 years old. I actually played running back. It was great. You know, I love to hit people. I love to run over people.
After his second year playing Pop Warner ball, a coach saw something that I didn't see because he had my son playing defense. And I was like, he don't know nothing about defense.
At this time, he was in 8th grade, about 6'1", and every bit of the weight limit. This kid's gonna be a defensive end.
He said, Michelle, trust me. And lo and behold, he was right.
The best thing I love about football right now is my position. You know, I like hitting people, so that's why I play defense.
Known as Al or Quan, Al-Quadin protects his dreams by working his hardest at any task.
The best piece of advice that somebody ever gave me, you can't drown in your own sweat, no matter how hard you work on the field or in the classroom.
Quan wants to be the best, and he'll work hard for it. Just seeing the maturity and on and off the field, that's a beautiful thing.
Quan's hard work has given him options in life and multiple dreams to pursue.
My dream is to one day play in the NFL. But if I don't get a chance to play in the NFL, my dream is to get a degree in criminal justice. You know, one thing don't work out, the other will. I'm pretty confident that.
We call the NFL in our part gravy. Right now, we just want some rice and some steak on our plate, and that's the degree from the university.
I protect Quan's dreams by encouraging him. You could be successful where you are. It's how bad you really want it.
To see more great videos and enter for a chance to win an incredible football experience in New Orleans, go to amfam.com/gettothegame.
This is MaxPreps Friday Night Live, powered by American Family Insurance.